Hi, welcome to, I'm not sure even if this is for or what number this is. This is our Valentine's Day edition. I'm Olivia.
Hi, I'm Taylor.
How are you today?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing well. This is the afternoon on Valentine's Day, and we wanted to wait through the weekend till Monday, till today, Valentine's Day, to tell the story of how we met for a conversation in English having to do with Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Why don't you get that one started? How did we meet?
We met at the gym in a yoga class. I had been taking yoga for probably at least a year at that point, continually with a class, to the point where I was kind of part of the class in a sense. I was one of the models, as our teacher used to say, because she would have people at the front, and then you came to one of the classes. If you want to take it from there.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it's part that we met at the yoga class because it's the first place we saw each other, but I feel like it's the Latin dance class where we really met. So the story is kind of funny in that we met at the gym taking a yoga class, but I think it would have been one of the first classes that we were in together where we both knew the instructor.
Yeah.
And she was kind of advertising these classes she taught in her home and talking about a Latin dance class. And I remember standing with a group of people and saying that I was interested. And you were just about to walk by us anyways, and she was, like, oh, Taylor wants to do the class, he could use a partner.
Yeah.
The funny part of the story, which is kind of in line or parallels how my parents had this wasn't a date, but for my parents it was, where my dad, I think, stood my mom up. The first Latin dance class that we were supposed to go to or be partners at, I showed up to, and you didn't.
No.
So he didn't stand me up because it wasn't a date.
Yeah.
But you didn't show.
But I did come the next week.
Yes, so you.
And then every week from then on.
Yeah. Let's see. So let's go from there. So we were taking a Latin dance class together.
Yeah.
We were seeing each other maybe once a week at the gym. Well, once a week for yoga. Maybe we saw each other in passing at the gym. I don't really remember that so much. But we still talk about this, how there was time when we would stay after the class and talk.
Yeah.
My intention was to get to know you.
Yeah.
I was single at that point. And you, we didn't know how we felt
well,
about
we were
each other.
both technically were not single when we met, right, at the gym.
So we were going to get into this.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you bring up... Yeah, and then I had broken up...
When we first saw each other ever at the gym.
With my girlfriend, and then we, got together.
When we went on our first date, we were both single.
Yes.
Yes. Let's clarify that. Okay, so the first time we hung out, which you could say was a date, we were both single. We had gone separate ways from people we'd been with.
Yeah.
We went to let's call it a cafe.
Yeah, it was a cafe. I don't know.
And
what
did we were just talking about
it.
this recently? What did we do?
So yeah, we were in the cafe for pretty long, and
Had
then,
like a hot drink. Talked.
I had a van from where I was working at the time, and we just hung out in my van and
I feel like now that you tell them it's a van, they get the wrong idea. We sat, it could have been any car.
Yeah.
We sat in the front of this car after leaving the cafe because it was getting late and they want to close. This is the United States, mind you, these things aren't open late.
Yeah.
And we ended up listening to music and talking until what time?
The next day, the next morning.
That was a Tuesday night after that we met up and hung out. So you had work the next day.
Yeah, I didn't live far from there, so it was easy for me to go back, change, didn't go to sleep, and then went to work.
Yeah.
And then we had a date. Our first date was like
that
2 days later.
Friday night.
Yeah.
That Friday night.
It was Wednesday morning at that point, so 2 days later.
So then we had our first official date, because we kind of have a struggle to decide which is our anniversary, because you have the first time we went out and hung out with each other, separate from yoga and had left our relationships. And then the day that we first went out for dinner. So that Friday, sometimes we celebrate as our anniversary, that date. Yeah. Because it's the first time we went on an official date.
Yeah, that's what we...
And you picked me up. I think you wanted to pick me up. You picked me up. We went to an Indian restaurant.
Yep.
We went to a building to kind of see a lookout.
Yeah.
In a city where we live.
Yeah.
And it was snowing that night, right?
It was snowing.
So when you dropped me off at home that night, everything was covered in snow. So that's kind of a special part of that memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did we we didn't really plan to talk about this, but so then our story, where did we go from there?
We were together for months, and then you were going off to Italy.
Oh, yeah, that's a part of our story.
And that was within the first couple of months. You went to Italy, and then, about less than a month in, you were like, hey, maybe you should come live with me. I can't live without you, kind of thing. So I remember hearing a lot of that kind of stuff. And then we had spent 4 months apart until I actually
While I was in Italy and you were in the United States.
Yeah, and then I came to live with you.
Yeah.
Right after Christmas and right before New Year's, and I remember that because I left on my brother's birthday, which is December 29th.
Yeah. So we had a long distance relationship for 4 months, in the sense that he was back in the United States. I had left for Rome. Yeah. Which I had planned to do. The not exactly the issue, but the thing was that, I was ready to do that. I had met you. We hadn't been dating for very long. Mm-hmm. And the beautiful thing in some ways is that Taylor sold his car, left his apartment, packed up. Yeah. After I left, basically, once I'd invited him to come, not only we originally bought you tickets to come visit, and it turned into me inviting him to come live there. So he really left his life back at home and came to Italy, and we lived there together. Yeah. And then we ended up going back to the United States eventually. Yeah. Yeah. And then we got our first apartment together. Well, our first apartment together in the United States. We lived together in Italy. Yep. And then it's just all history from there.
It lived happily ever after.
Since we have I'll just say this, that coming up is our 5-year anniversary. So we've been together for 5 years. Yeah. Which is also in the spring. So it's kind of nice how we have Valentine's Day. And it's like a love period of the year, Valentine's Day, anniversary. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What I wanted to ask you then, since we have time, is for on the Miss America pageant show, what is your favorite kind of date?
I don't...
would you describe your ideal date?
I don't think about... I don't know, that to me is weird. I just go out to dinner. I don't... Okay. What is your ideal date?
Yeah, I would think of things that we have done, or dates that I've had that I like. I like a date that involves nature. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that we always... Well, yeah, I mean, back when we were first getting together and dating, we would go to a park. Mm-hmm. Back home, we would go to different parks and go for a walk. sometimes we would have a class and then go out, so that like not that we always feel like we have to exercise on a date, but like I like taking a class together and then going to a cafe. So if you ever actually practice yoga with me anymore, taking a yoga class together and then going to a cafe, I feel like you and I really like, and they have them elsewhere, but we find them in the United States, like cafes that are not a bar cafe like in Western Europe, that are like sofas, big coffee cups, kind of a quieter environment, usually books around, plants, furniture, maybe some cats.
It's definitely a plus.
I also like I think of times in Italy when we went out to dinner, maybe, changing out of house clothes, going out to dinner and walking around a part of the city like we lived in Rome. That's great. All right. So that's that.
That's that.
Well, I guess we'll see you next week. We'll have to figure out what our topic is going to be for next week. But thanks for listening, and happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Bye.